Well, good evening and welcome. We are delighted you've taken time to come join us tonight for some wonderful music and some wonderful stories. I first heard Joe back in Henshaw days, back in Chapel Hill when they did a workshop called Celebration. And he came in and did a concert the night before that particular reading workshop. And I thought, yeah. And then through the years, we've quit counting how many anthems and cantatas and piano things that are out there. And I've just heard the number this afternoon that is staggering, 2,700 things in print. Good heavens. It boggles the mind. All right, well, let me take care of a little business. For those who haven't read the bio, let me give you a little short thing. Joseph Martin, a native of North Carolina, earned his Bachelor of Music degree in piano performance at Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina. Subsequently, he earned a Master of Music degree in piano performance at the University of Texas in Austin. Joseph taught for 5 years in the piano pedagogy department of the University of Texas. While at Furman, he was accompanist for choral director and composer Milburn Price. And inspired by his teaching, Martin began to compose. He's a member of the staff of Shawnee Press Incorporated and the Hal Leonard Corporation as Director of Sacred Publications, with the responsibilities for overseeing the editorial and creative direction of the company and also coordinating the recording production aspects of future sacred publishing efforts. So when I pick out the music, he's the one that's recorded it. Yeah. His first solo piano recording, American Tapestry, was nominated for a Dove Award. This album, along with his other recordings, Song of the Journey, Celtic Tapestry, A Christmas Tapestry, and A Symphony of Carols, has been enormously popular in the sacred and secular markets. He has recorded for Yamaha's, you're going to have to help me with this, Disclavier series, and has composed hundreds of commissioned works. His composition, Pieta, is that right?
Close enough for rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Was honored with an award from the John Ness Beck Foundation. Recognized throughout the U.S. and for his many choral compositions, both sacred and secular. Yeah, even in my high school choral days, we did several Joseph Martin. His music is published by numerous publishing houses. He currently lives in Austin, Texas with his wife, Sue. Sue is with us tonight, too. I'm going to let him do that introduction, and I'm going to say a big, hearty welcome and turn it over to Joe and let us have a moment with him. Welcome.
Whew. How is everybody tonight? It's good to see you. Thank you. Hey, I always kind of play that one up close to the front of the program. I get paid by the note, and it helps get my quota up. Well, it is a pleasure. One of the best things in my life is to get to play the piano for folks, and so I'm in my happy place right now. So I just hope you'll sit back and relax. I'm just going to take you on a little musical journey, and we'll have a good time together, especially tonight because my mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Thanks for the piano lessons. I appreciate it. My mom and my brother and his wife are watching on the streaming tonight, so I better be on my best behavior. Every time I go home to visit my mom, no matter what it is, I don't care how much I've dieted, whatever, she always says, "Son, you look like you're holding in the fluids." I saw her today and yesterday. They live in the Winston-Salem area, Kernersville. Some of you know where that is. And so it's always good to get to come back home. In fact, this first little piece I'm going to play is really made up of a lot of different folk songs and hymns and idioms from this Appalachian region, all the way up to Pennsylvania and beyond, of course. But it's nice to have grown up in North Carolina. I was born in Rutherford County. Anybody here know where Frog Level is? Too bad you would have won a free CD if you don't know where Frog Level was. It's in Rutherford County. We lived on Chimney Rock Road, so we've been going through a lot of things with the memories that have gone through a tough time right now. My aunt lost her home, and so we were very concerned during all that time, and so it's good to be back and see the work that's being done here by very noble people, and we just hope that continues. And it's hard to kind of put your arms around it, when you grew up in that area. It's very bittersweet in a way to be back. But the music that area birthed in me, it lives on, and it's a great inspiration for me. So I'd like to share, that's a little, we'll call it American Tapestry. It's a little medley of things. Maybe if you listen with your heart's ears, you could hear sound of the dulcimer, or maybe the fiddle, or just some mountain melody that you might be familiar with. Oh, I just love those old Southern hymns and those folk melodies. They just kind of resonate with me. And, growing up in Rutherford, we had not a lot going on. I mean, it was a wonderful place to live, don't get me wrong. But, we were in frog level, and then there was Sandy Mush and Dirty Ankle. And we called it the Tri-City area. That's how out of touch we were. We were so small, our 7-Eleven was a 3.5. It's really kind of tiny. We had a school there, a little tiny school with and a little store that sold sundries as you began up that crooked way to Lake Lure and Chimney Rock. It sold Indian corn and cider and stuff like that. And we finally got a volunteer little fire department building there. And let's see, what else they have? 37 Baptist churches. That's what they had. And my dad was a minister at one of those churches, and that's where I learned to play in front of people and enjoy the intersection of message and music. That's just always been where I like to live. This next song I want to play for you is just that. It's an old hymn called Resignation. That's the name of the tune. It's quite lovely. It actually has roots in Ireland. A lot of the melodies that we call Appalachian came from immigration, really, actually from Scotland and Wales and Germany and Switzerland. I mean, just everywhere. And, of course, variants spring up because people adapt things, and folk songs become hymns, and hymns become folk songs. It's quite a wonderful process. And so this particular one's one of my favorites because it's set often to and sung in our churches to the setting of the 23rd Psalm. My shepherd doth supply my need. And David the harpist and the beautiful scenes, I think, of that are represented, pastoral scenes in that psalm, inspired a little bit of the impressionistic approach to this hymn. I think you'll recognize it. My shepherd doth supply my need. Isn't that a pretty melody? Uh, Now, my mother is a good pianist. Mom, you're a good pianist. And she loved classical music, and I can remember hearing her, play her pieces at the end of the hard day. Dad went out and bought a piano for us. This is a beautiful piano, by the way, Mason Hamlin, very nice. The one that he bought was a PSO, a piano-shaped object. That's what it was. This thing had the tone of an asthmatic hunting boar. It was terrible. But he did the best. He paid $40 for it and overpaid. He overpaid for it, But he and 30 of his closest friends brought that into the house. My mom cried. It was a scene. But Mom would play the songs. And how many of you here have had piano lessons in your life? Yeah. How many? Okay, just honest. Honest. We'll edit this out of the streaming. How many of you were in the Red Books? You know who you are. Yeah, Red Books. Yeah, that's right. Yep. I'm starting a 12-step recovery group for Red Book people, by the way, and you might join my online help group there. That was John Thompson. You remember John Thompson, Swans on the Lake? Oh, my word, I can remember Swans on the Lake. That drove Mom crazy because, once you get that one down, you don't stop. I mean, let me remind you. Well, that's a spinning song. And it goes on and on and on and on. Swans on the Lake were. I think Mom had to get a prescription of little pills to get through that period of my piano technique. Once you get it down, you just keep playing it. Now, Mom wanted me to learn the right way, so we had a very nice teacher there in the Green Hill community who was a church pianist and taught me, and she did a very beautiful job, was teaching me all the techniques. And in those days, you either played classical or you played by ear, and they thought they weren't very compatible. Well, we know better now. We respect both of those kinds of learning. And I was pretty good at both of them, I have to admit. And my dad particularly did not want me to play things that nobody would want to listen to. What he meant was classical, right? He liked gospel music and popular music. And so he would sneak me popular music for me to play, and Mom would hide it from me, and Dad would sneak it in. And eventually he decided to get me another teacher who lived in the community. And do you guys have the dinner on the grounds here from time to time where like potluck, worship through casserole events, Well, we had those, and this lady played for those Sunday on the ground singings. We had singings, and the Luckadoo family would come out and sing, and all the different family groups would sing. And her name was Miss Mamie. And I was very interested. She had a style of playing you don't hear much anymore. Maybe there's a reason for that. She would take the notes and kind of shake them out a little bit. I mean, it was an old style. I mean, I'll show you. Miss Mamie. By the way, she was about 127 years old when I met her. You've heard that before, right? Yeah. It kind of sounded like a saloon now that I think about it, really truthfully. But I was 7 years old, and I was mesmerized by her shaking those notes out, And folks, that thing that hangs under your arm, it kind of flaps back and forth? Well, I just sit and watch it go. It was kind of mesmerizing. My dad's church didn't have air conditioning, so it got a little breeze going through the auditorium. I can tell you that. So Miss Mamie, she'd say, honey, come over here and sit next to me on the banana bench. We're going to do us a duet. And so she'd say, get your little pattern going, get your little pattern going. And then she'd teach me a little bit of her songs. So since we're not on a formal Sunday morning, I thought I might do Miss Mamie medley for you, okay? If you recognize some of these songs, you probably need to go and get a checkup with your doctor because you've got gray hair and you grew up with these songs. And you can sing along if you want to, if it sets your heart to love it. This is what I enjoyed playing when I was a youngling for my grandmother. Hold on a second. I'm going to put it right here. Can you hold it? Miss Mamie's Medley. I'm going to take this coat off so I can get some of that going. Notes flying all over the auditorium, let me tell you. Did you anybody recognize those tunes? What was the first one? When we all get to heaven one day. Yeah, the second one was really old. It was, yes, Evelyn, you got it. When you ring those golden bells. Gosh, that was my mama's favorite song. She always asked me, play that song. That one and Whisper and Hope. She would love Whisper and Hope. The third one. Oh, there's a land that is fairer the day in the sweet by and by, yeah. And the last one was Mansion Over the Hilltop. A lot of those songs about heaven. Boy, they're golden oldies, you know, and I love playing them. So Dad had the right thing. That usually gets bigger applause than all the other songs, so I guess he was right. People like gospel music, like toe tappers, and I like playing them for them. Now, the one good thing about tonight is I'm going to actually show you the talented person in the family. That is my wife, Sue. She is going to come up and sing a number while I rest my fingers a little bit. Let her be the star first. So you know what? She is the talented one in the family. Worked for Disney for 20 years. And she was Voices of Liberty. She did the Hoot-to-Doo review. And she was the first live Ariel, the Little Mermaid. That's right, I married a fish. So I thought I might ask her to come up and sing some scales. Okay, so those scales? Sue, better come up, I'm floundering here. But truthfully, we met down there at Disney in a recording studio, and she fell hard. And she left. I just thought of something. We met online. Get it? Is that because she's a mermaid? And okay, boy, a tough crowd tonight. But anyway, she finally came to her senses, left Mickey and married Goofy. So here's Sue. What are you going to do? I don't know. We're making this up as we go along. She is not only sang for Disney, but she is a lyric coloratura. Those of you who are at App State will know what that is. A real high soprano, the highest of the high. And so I thought it might be nice if you got to hear her do that tonight. It's very interesting sound, and I love it when you do that. So something by Andrew Lloyd Webber, Pie Jesu, and that was usually sung as a child duet, a voice soprano, and then Sarah Brightman came in. That's what made it famous. And here's our version.
Thank you.
Okay, you got more applause than me, so what? I was on Pikes Peak some years ago. I mean, you know, you guys are like in paradise here. I mean, it's just incredible. I forget because I don't come here. I forget how beautiful it is. It's absolutely gorgeous drive today, and so we've got a real estate person looking for us. It's that pretty. But there are other beautiful places we get to go all around the world and sing, and it's great life. But I was on Pikes Peak because I wanted to see where America the Beautiful was composed. It's just a bit of a pilgrimage for me. And I was with a good friend of mine from Austin, David Angerman. And we got halfway up the mountain, and there was this pull-off where you could stop. And it was a beautiful day, the azure skies, the whole bit, you know. And I'm beginning to get a feel for America the Beautiful, the Purple Mountains, because in the background there they are, the Rockies. And down in the valley was this little crooked river and a bunch of elk, and oh, it was just beautiful. And it took our breath away. And for a couple of guys, just to be quiet for a few minutes in reflection, it was a rarity, you know. And David said something. He just said, you know, how could anybody have any doubts about there being a creator God when there's this much beauty, just extravagant beauty? And I said, you know what, but how much beauty do we just walk by and never notice? And he said, there's got to be a song in that. And so we actually started making lists of things in our life that we were grateful for, that proved and gave us evidence of a loving God and graceful God. And the song that came from that is what you're going to hear, because when you think about it, you see things sometimes and it just speaks louder than anything that we've ever been taught. It's just, you have to just be and breathe it all in, the beauty of it. You know, God is. And that moment turned into a song, and Sue's going to sing it for you. Nothing left to say.
When I see the morning rise, when I gaze at cloudless skies, or watch a golden eagle as she flies, there's nothing left to say, there's nothing left to say, there's nothing left to say. God is. When I watch the children play, dancing through a summer's day, dreaming, singing, laughing all the way, there's nothing left to say, there's nothing left to say, there's nothing left to say. God is. When I see the falling snow touch the beauty of a rose, trace the winding river as it flows, when I see a caring face or a simple act of grace, people reaching out with love's embrace, when I hear a symphony, view creation's tapestry, or wonder
I bet you would be able to make your own list of things that would plug into your life song. Well, since you're here, and there's probably some future Disney princesses in the audience, how does one become the Little Mermaid? I mean, what was that process like? And I mean, that's a pretty weird job. And she was by the way, she launched Disney Cruise Line. That was where, the original voice was Jodie Benson. She studied her voice, and she wanted to be, because it was an incredible performance, she wanted to be loyal to that. So it was kind of her hero. And she studied that voice and got it down so beautifully. And if you see a commercial for Disney Cruise Line, that's her. That's her. She flips her tail. That's my wife's tail. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean it that way. It just kind of came out the wrong way. But tell them how you got to be the Little Mermaid, and then we'll sing a Disney song.
Okay. Well, I was very honored when they asked me to come and audition, and I'd worked for them for 10, 15 years by that time. And so I walked into the room, and there were about 12 other girls, looked just like me, same height, same shaped face, same build. I was the only one with real red hair, so that didn't hurt. But so we sang and read lines, and they narrowed it down to 3. And the other 2 girls and myself were put in full makeup, and a wig and costumes, and like from the waist up. And they took pictures from every angle, and they presented those pictures to the board of Disney, because they're very protective of how their characters are portrayed. Snow White has a little bit of a turned up nose. Cinderella has to be a certain height. And it just so happened that God made me the same way they drew Ariel. So I was very fortunate when they asked me to portray the Little Mermaid. This song, we had a lot of trouble putting together this medley. There's so many incredible songs that Disney is famous for, many of them Academy Award-winning songs. So we narrowed it down to these 3, and they're kind of very special to me, so I hope you like them.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's-its and what's-its galore. You want thingamabobs? Well, I have 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down the, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling dreams that you wish will come true. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon that star, as dreamers do, fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. Wish upon that star, your dreams come true.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much. Well, I have one last final one number for you. You've been a lovely audience. Thank you for your wonderful affirmations and for just taking time out to share. You complete the circle for us, and we're very, very grateful. Thanks, Mom, for watching. Appreciate that. This last song is a programmatic song. It tells the story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. You know, they blew trumpets, they shouted, and they marched around the city, and it was quite a event. You know, it brought the house down, let's put it that way. So maybe it'd be an apt exclamation point for our gathering tonight. You'll hear the trumpets, you'll hear the shouts, you'll hear a lot of stuff. Is there insurance on the piano? Oh, well, maybe I'll change to Brahms' Lullaby. It might be a better. Here is Joshua Fought the Battle.
I heard a doctor not too long ago that was talking about ways that we can improve our health. And they said one thing you can do is listen to music. it sets off all those endorphins and makes you happy. And when you hear things that are familiar to you, like a hymn tune or a song from your childhood or Disney, and it just makes all of those things just spark and makes you come to life. So thank you, Joseph and Sue, tonight for leading us and taking us on this journey. We are indebted. Thank you. Help me one more time. As you leave tonight, there is a table back there that has some, if you're really ambitious, some music, piano music in print that you can try to imitate what you just heard. Lots of luck. But if you want to enjoy it again and just listen, there's some CDs back there too.
Hey, if you buy enough of them, I'll help you carry them to the car.
Okay. Thank you again, and I didn't introduce myself. My name's David McCollum. For those that are here, and Kathy Beach is our senior pastor, and she's here with us tonight. Thank you to Rumpel for making this possible. This is our composer weekend. We hope to do it again. So have a good night and safe travels.